before I begin, thank you all for 1 million views. Whilst I don't want to get too corny, it's a milestone that millions of teens dream of hitting, so I can only thank anyone watching any of my content and for you for clicking on this video. Road to 10k now. So a quick disclaimer before I start, because I feel like I'll get at least one comment like this. This video wasn't done to flex that a small YouTuber can get a somewhat decent paycheck off what they love doing. Financial transparency and inspiring viewers to pursue this themselves is what the purpose of this video is. I'll leave a clip from Abdaal explaining the same thing, and the fact that he's made millions actually motivates me into working harder rather than discouraging me and thinking that he's arrogant.
Now, before we get started, I want to give the usual caveats. The point of this video is absolutely not to flex. I'm a big fan of openness and honesty and transparency when it comes to this sort of stuff. And I've actually benefited a lot in the past from other people on the internet being open and honest about their revenue numbers.
Alright, so let's get straight to the point. How much have I actually made? That answer is $3,134.26 as of the recording of this video. That's how much money I've made on YouTube since I was monetized on August 25th, 2020 to January the 22nd, 2022. In the last 365 days, I've made $2,390.44 with 717.6 thousand views. But of course, I'm not going to end the video there. I'm sure many of you want to know more details, with CPM being the most important one, and using that to calculate how much your favourite Overwatch YouTubers make, comparing YouTube to average salaries in the UK, and how much it takes to become a full-time YouTuber. So CPM, or RPM as YouTube refers to it, is the amount of money you make for every 1,000 monetized views you get after YouTube takes their cut. CPM stands for cost per mil, and RPM stands for revenue per mil. CPM and RPM are very interchangeable terms to your average Joe, but CPM to YouTube includes their cut of the ad revenue alongside yours, whereas RPM is just your cut only. Thankfully, YouTube already calculates your RPM for you, but this only includes monetized views. To calculate your RPM including unmonetized views, just take the amount of money you get in a selected time period and divide it by the amount of views you've gotten in the exact same time period and times it by 1,000. That came out to $3.40, which is slightly lower than what YouTube calculates for me, and that makes sense as the same amount of money is spread out across more views. Now, what does your RPM/CPM actually come down to? Well, I'll break it down into 4 main factors, being the genre you make content on, the geographical location of your audience, the month you're in, and the age of your audience. The biggest one is probably on the genre of content you make. Gaming content is one of the lowest CPM genres, with people often getting as low as $1 per 1,000 views or even lower. My CPM, or RPM as YouTube calls it, is actually really super high for a gaming channel. I'm not sure if this is just me, as I often make slightly longer content, meaning that I can put more ads leading to more money per view, or whether other Overwatch YouTubers have a similar CPM to me. In contrast, other genres which are known to have much higher CPMs are financial or economy based channels and beauty or makeup channels. The reason why their CPM is much higher than gaming channels, for instance, is because people watching those type of videos are more likely to buy products placed by advertisers. In the beauty genre, makeup is bought all the time, and in the financial genre, cryptocurrency, stock markets, or just consumerism in general is fueled by the nature of having a channel that's all about money. Tech channels also have a moderate CPM from what I've seen. Another factor is the geographical location of your audience. Broadly speaking, developed first world countries such as the United States or most of Europe are going to have higher CPMs than countries such as Sudan, Nigeria, Afghanistan, or other countries that are developing. This is because developed countries often have more disposable income to buy products from advertisers, meaning advertisers are willing to pay a bit more money for those viewers when advertising their products on videos such as mine, meaning us creators get a bit more money. However, within developed countries, CPM does fluctuate quite a bit. For example, the CPM from the US on my channel is $6.76, whereas from the UK is $3.85. I'm not really sure why this is the case. Maybe one of the comments can explain this. Maybe it's because Overwatch is a lot more popular in the US, who knows. Keep in mind that this is CPM and not RPM, so this figure includes YouTube's cut of the ads. Another reason that can raise or drop CPM is the month you're in, and you can actually use YouTube's own graph to see this, with December, June and July being the months with the highest CPM since the holiday months, and January being commonly known to be the month with the lowest amount of CPM, and you can clearly see this with my graph. My CPM is just sliced in half as soon as I enter 2022. The reason for this change is because in the holiday months or days, people are looking to buy stuff with their disposable income, December obviously being known for Christmas, and the summer months being known for vacation. This again means that advertisers are willing to pay a bit more money as people are more likely to buy things from advertisements. Another factor is age, and this goes hand in hand with the genre of content you make. Typically speaking, and I'll get onto this later, particularly in your late 30s into 40s, the more disposable income you have to spend, yet again meaning that a slightly older viewer is more likely to buy products from advertisers. And combine this with genre, financial channels will typically have a slightly older audience, as they might focus on things such as writing wills, buying or renting houses, utilizing the stock market, etc. If you contrast this with gaming, the overwhelming majority of people who game are 24 years old or younger, and on average, they're less likely to have more money than someone in their 40s. With the finance genre in particular though, cryptocurrency is typically a zoomer thing, hence more and more young people are looking to invest their money, so who really knows how big the age of an audience really has on impacting CPM. Another factor which I haven't mentioned in my top 4, since I'm not fully certain on, is the number of ads you put in a video, since CPM is based on every 1,000 views rather than every 1,000 ad impressions, but again, I might be wrong on that. If I'm right, videos under 8 minutes, which can't put any mid-roll ads, will have a significantly lower CPM, such as animated channels. Now onto YouTube Shorts. Shorts pay a lot less than normal videos. As you can see here with my Doomfist short, which is my most viewed short, it's only paid 40 cents. The reason for this is because ads only play on YouTube Shorts when you play it on a desktop browser and not when you're scrolling through shorts like you're on TikTok. Here's Charlie, also known as MoistCritical, also going through how little YouTube Shorts pay despite getting millions of views from them.
Here's another pretty wild one. This is full-blown goofy goober status. 2.2 million views and it made 21 cents. Just barely over 10 cents per million view. And yes, it is like this for every short video posted to the Huge Charles channel. And not just specific to YouTube Shorts in particular, it is just any piece of content that is short. Now this is all AdSense. It would be irresponsible to not mention a program YouTube has, which is the YouTube Shorts Fund, which is a fund of $100 million, I think it was, where if you reach X amount of views on your YouTube Shorts, they'll give you a bonus. So on paper it sounds wonderful, but in practice it's run like the goddamn mafia. This shit is cutthroat. You have to hit some really strict but still vague levels in order to reach these bonus milestones. But I would like to play you this clip from a channel that does dive very deep into it in order to just give you an idea of how hard it is to actually make a ton of money from this shorts fund.
Jake Fellman's 3D animation shorts netted him over 600 million views last month. But even this wasn't enough to earn him the full bonus.
Another big thing to mention is that YouTube AdSense is only one of the ways creators can earn their money. Sponsorships, especially for large channels, is a big one. Twitch partnership money, merchandise, affiliate links, Patreon, and any courses, or for Overwatch specifically, any coaching they offer are other ways creators can earn money. There's also crypto and stock markets, but they aren't creator specific. Well, unless your name is Frito and you do some insider trading.
Hey y'all, come look at this.
For reference, I am joking. The Microsoft deal was not in the content creator NDA meeting. Do not sue me, Frito. Now onto calculating the revenue of some of the biggest Overwatch YouTubers. Again, the bigger ones will definitely be making more than just their AdSense, but it's definitely worth seeing how the neglect of Overwatch as a franchise has been financially impacting on some of the biggest Overwatch YouTubers. Starting off with Silosa. Just for clarity, I'll be adding up his views in 2021 only. He was pulling in between 1 and 2 million views, on the lower end of the millions, and adding up all 12 months, he got roughly 16 million views. If we take a CPM of 3, we just need to divide 16 million by 1,000 and times it by 3 to get a rough estimate of his income. So if we do that, we end up with $48,000, equivalent to a shade over £35,000. Definitely a solid amount of income, and again, this is really dependent upon what his CPM is. It could be higher than 3, it could be lower than 3, so I'm just using my own experience to get a rough estimate. If we compare this to what Silosa was getting about 3 years ago in February 2019, he was pulling around 5 million views, meaning he's declined by about 80ish%, implying that he could have certainly been pulling 6 figures with AdSense alone. Moving on to Frito from your Overwatch. Frito pulled around 9.7 million views in 2021, and using a CPM of 3, he pulled around $29,000 from YouTube AdSense. Frito's view count has declined quite a similar amount to Silosa, at around 80 to 90% depending on what numbers you use. Now onto Jane, who used to make content for Overwatch. He still pulled around 5 million views in 2021, and using the same CPM of 3, he made around $15,000. With that being said, Jane is actually struggling to pull 50,000 views a month now, meaning that from Jane's peak of 2.4 million views, he's declined by about 98%. Even more generously, if we take a million views and we do 50,000 divided by a million, Jane has at least declined by about 95%. Now to CarQ. Now I'm not actually going to do CarQ since a lot of his views have come from YouTube Shorts, which would just skew the numbers heavily, but he's obviously doing well for himself, especially considering he's a content creator for The Defiant and is a Twitch partner, and he actually earned 94 grand from August 2019 to October 2021 on Twitch. Keep in mind that number does not include any donations. Now on to Get Quaked On. He's got a very volatile view count and has totaled around 2.9 million views in 2021, meaning he's earned around a smidgen under 9 grand. With SVB, he pulled around 900,000 views in 2021, leading to around $2,600. Lastly, I'll do Zebra, the Doomfist main who popped off in 2021. He got around 4.3 million views, leading to just under $13,000. But I heavily doubt he made nearly that much since most of his content is under 8 minutes, meaning he can only put 2 ads, one at the start and one at the end, dramatically reducing his income. As a bonus, I felt like I wanted to do Mr. Beast since he's probably the most watched Western content creator right now, and to calculate his overall income since he started YouTube. If you go to Mr. Beast's About page on YouTube, he's pulled just under 14.5 billion views, and if we take a CPM of 3, he's made a total of $43.4 million. That's probably just a fraction of his money considering his merchandise, his sponsorships, and his fast food place Mr. Beast Burger. He's definitely into the 9 digits by now. Now ending off the video with how many more views it would actually take to make a living. So the average salary in the UK at least for 18 to 21 year old is around £18,000, which is about $24,000. As I showed at the start, my analytics is roughly a tenth of that number, meaning that I'd need to pull 7.2 million views a year, which is about 600,000 views a month. So yeah, don't do YouTube for the money. Most people don't ever make it to doing it for a part-time job, and Twitch is even more fierce. Even in the top 10,000 Twitch streamers, the streamer in the 10,000th place only made 23 grand over 26 months. So as cliche as it sounds, do YouTube because you enjoy it. Treat it like a hobby with some smart business and marketing flair. And if you want to be a content creator myself, my biggest piece of advice is to find your USP in the market. Why do people want to watch you over your competitors? What do you bring to the table that others don't? I'll try and use myself as an example. Back when I started making guides, my USP was conciseness, density, and professionalism. There weren't really other guides out there that could pack more detail in 15 minutes, which is why I speak so fast and I can get around 30 to 50% more detail in a shorter amount of time. I also used and heavily edited clips from professional coaches to not only up the quantity of information, but also the quality of the advice. I'll use another example, Good Guy Griffo. His USP was that he made really good guides for beginners of Overwatch. They were sweet, short, basic, and easy to follow, which is something that nobody else really brought to the table. Again, I'll use another example. Stocks. Back when he was regularly making content, his USP was professionalism. He spent time on the professional Overwatch scene, meaning he could give pinpoint details to his viewers that nobody else really could, as seen with his Bronze to Owl series. Other USPs would be your humour, editing style, the quantity and quality of your information, and tapping into markets which haven't really been tapped into yet, such as commentary or drama channels for Overwatch. Referring to Abdaal once again, he refers to this as an unfair advantage, something that's pretty hard or inconvenient to replicate. Stocks being in Contenders and having professional experience is an unfair advantage, for example. The content creators who went to the NDA meeting probably have an unfair advantage in terms of when content might be dropping. Abdaal mentions 5 different factors to the unfair advantage, denoted in the acronym MILES, which stands for money, intelligence/insight, location, education, and status. If you guys want me to make another video based on mindset and breaking down the formula for success more and applying this to Overwatch, do let me know down below. Well, that's it for the video. If you're new and you're not subscribed, do check out my other content and hopefully you feel implored to stay. I hope this video was insightful and gave you guys some more transparency over what I do. Until next time.